Now we're going to talk about the E-Power machine, which is this machine right here. It's a negative ion machine that generates negative ions in the body, and it actually increases the negative potential in the body. So in this respect, negative ions are good for you and positive ions are not so good for you. So if you've ever been out by the ocean or went by the waterfalls or went out for a walk in the woods, you always feel good in that kind of environment. It's because there's tons and tons of negative ions out there versus in your offices, in your homes, and in your businesses, there's lots of positive ions and very few negative ions. If you've ever noticed, kids are full of energy. They're so rambunctious and ready to go that you can never get them to bed, and as people age, you can't get them out of bed. Why is that? Because they lose their negative potential and they lose their energy. So think of the E-Power as a battery charger. When we're young, we're full of energy, just like a battery is full of energy, and when we're older, most people's batteries start to go down. So when you start to use the E-Power machine, it increases the negative potential in the body, and what that does is it opens up the cells. The toxins can then get out of the trillions of cells, and the nutrients can then get in. So here's the simple explanation of the E-Power. Have any of you ever been to a movie and you saw somebody die in a hospital? And what they do, they take the paddles and they go boom, and they restart the heart. Well, at least that's what I thought they were doing. I found out that's not exactly what's happening. What's actually happening is they're putting in 10,000 volts of negative ion energy into every cell of the body, and they're restarting the entire body. Now with our E-Power machine, we're not dealing with dead people, we're just dealing with sick people. So what we do is we put in 1,000 volts of negative ion energy on high, 800 on medium, and 600 on low. And that's what slowly recharges the body. Some of the major benefits of negative ions is it lowers blood pressure, lowers blood sugar, increases bone density, balances hormones, and helps absorb nutrients. I call it the youth machine because I've noticed that a lot of people actually start to look younger. I had a 70-year-old lady that started using the E-Power machine, and she used it for about 3 to 4 months, and her husband said, "Man, you look 10 years younger." And she came to our meeting a month later, and she did. She actually looked 10 years younger. I've had a lot of women call me and say their hair actually went back to their normal color. And we've even had some testimonies where there's been a lot of hair growth on men. Now, as you can see, I don't have a lot of hair growth in my head, but you have to use it every day, and I haven't got into the habit of using it daily consistently yet. I'd like to read a few testimonies to you about some people and the results they had. One lady, she said, "I had several clients with severe acne, and after one 30-minute session with the indicator pen dipped in only water, the results were incredible. You can actually watch stuff, funky smelling debris, be forced out of the pores. I let them hold the mirror while they were stroking the face, and they can watch what's happening. It's not necessary to press hard. You don't feel a thing." A friend who is an esthetician has a huge client base and has a $20,000 Thermage microcurrent machine, which by the way you can feel and is actually training the muscles. And she said the E-Power does more than this machine because it benefits the entire body. Have a happy, healthy day, Linda. Another one this is from Joan Beckingham. "My husband and I have been using the E-Power for almost a month, and we want to share how excited we are about this product. I've been on antidepressants for 9 years and was placed on long-term disability. It was so severe. After many attempts to get off of them, I have finally succeeded with the help of the E-Power. I'm now down to less than half the dose and continue to cut down slowly. The other machines help for short periods of time, but inevitably something would trigger an episode of depression. I believe the chemical dependency was stored at a cellular level and was finally released through the work of the E-Power. The cool thing is that my whole attitude was improved and I find joy all around me. And as a bonus, my skin has improved dramatically. I had a terrible chicken neck, the kind that comes with aging, and lines around my mouth from previous years of being a smoker. My friends are asking me what I'm doing to look so great. My husband and I both notice a great improvement in our skin. Our daughter uses her E-Power as well, and she is totally hooked on how much better she sleeps and feels. Her stretch marks have almost disappeared, and she finds that she simply copes better and feels happier. We are thankful to HTE for introducing us to this amazing product." Joan Beckingham. And the last one I got here is from Joyce Deering. Last summer my husband told me to come quick. There was something wrong with one of our hens. When I got there I saw one of our black hens was lifeless. I picked her up and carried her inside. I placed her limp, lifeless body on my lap, covered her with a towel, and placed the e-Power belt on top of her. Within 15 minutes the hen was alert and thirsty. My husband couldn't believe it was the same hen at first. We love our e-Power. So that kind of explains a little bit about how I told you the e-Power recharges the cells, similar to when they take people in hospitals and boom, restart the heart. The last thing I want to mention is the precautions. The company says if you have a pacemaker, do not use the machine unless you get approval by your doctor. Now I'd like to explain the proper use of the e-Power machine itself. You got to drink plenty of water before and after, at least a glass or so, because as you open up all the cells and the toxins want to get out, you want to wash that out. Take all metal off your body. That includes rings, watches, earrings, belts. I already took all my stuff off. Do not touch a cell phone, or do not touch a computer while you're doing this. You could actually damage the cell phone or the computer. All coins, anything metal, just get rid of it. And you don't want to touch anything metal when you're using the e-Power machine. So we're going to put the belt on first, but you're going to have to turn the machine on first. Turn it on, it beeps a little bit, and then you're going to set the time, and you can put it up for 30 minutes usually. And then the EPA button is the power button, and you can start off at low. Some people start off at middle, and there's also a high. I tell people to start off at low or medium. And then there's two ports for the plug-in, so you can plug it into either port. Actually, two people can use this thing at the same time. This is the plug-in for the belt. And then what you do is you put the belt on with the Velcro side out and the little gray button to the right of your waist, or your belly button I should say, and then just wrap it around you and the Velcro will stick. And if a person does not fit with the e-Power belt because they may be a little bit larger size, you can wrap the belt around a person's leg also. And then you don't want the cord to be touching the floor. And now everything's set, it's not on yet. Then all we're going to do is hit play. And as soon as we hit play, all the lights light up and it starts showing that it's actually working. Then you can take the indicator pin, which comes with the machine right here, and you can see the light goes on. I'm not sure if you can see that in the camera there, but the light goes on. When you point it away from yourself, the light stays on. When you point it at yourself, the light goes out. This just shows that the machine's actually working. This indicator pin can also be used if you hold the pointy part and you rub, like say, age spots in a circular manner. You can actually reduce age spots. You can do facials with the pen. The testimony I read earlier showed how a person actually was cleaning up their face with the pen. So the pen can be used for that two purposes: to show that it works and to do the age spots and things like that. You can also, this comes with the machine, you can also get separately a wand. Now the wand is actually about 10 times stronger than the pen. It has a little metal piece on the end of it, and basically this does not plug anything, but the metal part goes on the floor, and then you take the wand and you can stroke your arms, you can stroke your legs, you can stroke your back, your head, your neck, different places to get everything flowing properly through your body. There's also a fluorescent light, which I'd like to show next. I'll have you turn off the lights, Melissa. And this actually shows how much power is going through our bodies. So this is just a regular fluorescent light bulb. I'll just grab it, and you can see it's already starting to come on. Go ahead and grab the other side of this. Fluorescent light bulb will show you exactly what happens when she grounds it. Whew. So there's a lot of energy going through your body, and it's helping to balance all your cells with negative ion energy. I think I forgot to mention I'm actually sitting in a wooden chair. You want to stay away from metal. So if you sit in a metal chair, you better make sure there's plenty of cushioning between you and the metal. And if you want to take the machine to bed with you, you can do that. There's a continuous button that you can hit. and then you can go to bed with it. Just make sure that there's plenty of mattress padding between you and any springs or anything like that, at least 4 or 5 inches. Otherwise you could actually, the energy would go to the metal and you would actually lose a lot of that energy. Some people have actually laid the e-Power belt flat in the bed and laid on top of it versus putting it around themselves. And you can do that as long as you put the Velcro side down, because when you're wearing it, the Velcro side is out. Dr. Cabrillas from Mexico did a study with the e-Power and the Hot House combined. And Dr. Cabrillas' job in Mexico was to treat diabetic people with wet gangrene, which means their flesh was actually starting to rot. And you'd have to amputate fingers and toes, and it was very, very bad. So he decided to do a study with the e-Power machine and the Hot House combined, and he started putting people on the e-Power for an hour a day on high, and he put them underneath the Hot House for an hour a day. You have to do it separately. You can't use any machines at the same time you're using the e-Power machine. And he did that study for like a year, and he had some pretty dramatic results. This picture shows open flesh on the bottom of a foot, and how he actually got to start to heal in 1 month, 2 months, and then 12 months. It totally healed up. So remember, the Hot House will regenerate damaged and diseased tissue, and the e-Power will go in and clean up everything and recharge the body. So I tell people, if you want to start looking younger and feeling younger, start using the e-Power on a regular basis.